Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dan on Sports. And here we are with an update on the NFL playoffs, the divisional rounds this weekend, as far as updated odds. Again, a review of my picks and also the weather. In fact, we're going to begin with the weather because it's going to have an impact on the games on Sunday. And so here's what I'm going to do. For those who are regular followers of the channel, and also subscribe to the newsletter, you know that I also co-host a podcast with meteorologist Brad Field. For many years, Brad was the chief meteorologist at NBC Connecticut, and he and I, when I was on Hartford Radio, would occasionally do interviews, particularly when a snowstorm was pending. We'd inform our audience from the radio side what was going on weather-wise, and Brad and I continued doing that after my departure from Hartford Radio, and Brad left NBC Connecticut. And so for the last, oh my goodness, it's 7 years now, we've done a podcast during the winter season weekly on what's going on with the weather. And because we're both sports fanatics, how many people know, for example, that Brad is a high school baseball coach? He sure is. He's an assistant coach at Granby High School, but I digress. But what we will do occasionally during the weather podcast is talk sports, particularly how it is related to weather. And so it was in our latest episode. And incidentally, I will link to Brad's weather page, bradfieldweather.com. But anyway, here is a segment from our episode, which was recorded on Friday, as far as what the weather looks like for the Sunday games. Here it is. Before we put a wrap on things with our forecast, there are some big NFL games this weekend. On Sunday at 3 o'clock, there's a game in Philadelphia, and at 6:30 on Sunday night, there's a game in Buffalo. Will the weather impact those two games?
All right. 3 o'clock in Philadelphia on Sunday. I believe it's going to be snowing. And I haven't looked into this. I'm just going by what's on the weather map and so forth. And I would say the temperatures will probably be something like 27 to 32, something like that.
Now, what about Buffalo at 6:30?
Buffalo, oh my gosh, they will be on the backside of the storm, so the wind is going to be rocking and rolling up there in Buffalo. And it's the Chiefs coming in, right?
No, yeah. It's going to be the Ravens, and it's going to be a huge.
Oh, the game. Ravens. That's right. That's right.
Buffalo. So there you have it. As far as the games are concerned, now will it have an impact on my picks? No. Will it have an impact on the games? I think there could be an impact. Anyway, let's get to the picks. Let's take a look, first of all, at the Saturday games, because that should not be impacted by weather, those games. And these are the odds from DraftKings as of Friday, January 17th. The first game is at 4:30, and that's the Texans at the Chiefs. Kansas City, the two-time defending Super Bowl champs, and the Chiefs remain 8.5-point favorites. I am picking Kansas City, and I'm saying that the Chiefs will cover. That's my pick for that game. I know they haven't played a game really in 2 weeks. They didn't play their regulars in the season finale against Denver, and they were off last week. They're the two-time defending Super Bowl champs. Kansas City will win. They will cover. Then the night game is Washington at Detroit. The Lions, picked by many to go all the way to the Super Bowl. They are 8.5-point favorites to beat the Commanders. Washington is playing with house money. If you watched my previous episode earlier in the week, you know that I think that the Commanders have a great future with Jalen Daniels at quarterback. But I am picking the Lions, and they will cover. That leads us to the Sunday games. And you heard Brad say it's going to be snowing in Philadelphia for the Rams-Eagles. The Eagles are 6-point favorites. Weather's going to have a big impact. How will the Rams handle winter weather? Well, you never know about these things, as one of my coaches used to say. But I am picking the Eagles, and I am saying that the Eagles will cover. So I'm not changing that prediction, which leads us to the Sunday night game. Wow, Buffalo, 6:30 game in Buffalo on a Sunday, January 19th, snow and wind. Are you kidding me? This is going to be a classic game, but now you wonder what might happen because of the weather. I am sticking with the Baltimore Ravens, but my initial prediction was the Ravens would win and they would cover. I think this could be a 1-point game. So, will they cover? I don't know. Who knows? And I'm sticking with the Ravens to win, but if Buffalo wins this game, I won't be surprised because I think the weather is going to benefit Buffalo. Not as if Baltimore's not used to playing in the cold weather. It gets cold in Baltimore. It was cold in the Ravens win over Pittsburgh last weekend, so they know how to play in the cold and they know how to play in the snow. But Buffalo is expert at playing in that weather. They're playing at home, but I'm going to stick with my original prediction. The Ravens will win. Will they cover? It could be a 1-point game. So there you have it. There's the update on what is going on as far as the playoffs are concerned. There's my predictions. I really haven't changed much other than I'm not so sure the Ravens will cover. There's the weather. It's going to impact the Sunday games. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the weekend. This is always one of the best weekends in the NFL, this divisional playoff weekend. And be sure to comment. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you would, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my newsletter at sportscasterdan.com. Have a great weekend.